Emily Carter was born and raised in the sun-soaked landscapes of California, where her love for animals burned brighter than the Golden State's famous sunshine. From the moment she could walk, Emily's heart beat in rhythm with the flutter of a bird's wings and the soft rustle of leaves stirred by curious squirrels. Her childhood room was more of a sanctuary than a bedroom, filled with rescued critters, from injured sparrows to stray kittens, all nursed back to health under her tireless care. While other kids dreamed of becoming astronauts or movie stars, Emily's only aspiration was to protect the voiceless creatures who shared our planet. This fierce passion wasn't just a hobby, it was a calling that would shape her destiny, steering her toward adventures far beyond what she or anyone could have ever imagined. After graduating with honors from the University of California, Emily Carter embarked on her dream journey at the world-renowned San Diego Zoo, a place that seemed almost magical to her younger self. From the very first day, she threw herself into her work with an unrelenting passion, caring for animals ranging from the tiniest pygmy marmosets to majestic endangered species like the Sumatran tiger. Each creature became a puzzle she was determined to solve, their needs and behaviors whispering secrets only she could decode. Late nights were spent poring over research papers, jotting down observations, and ensuring every animal under her care felt safe and cherished. One unforgettable night, a rare snow leopard named Luna fell critically ill. The zoo's senior veterinarian was away, leaving Emily in charge. Her heart raced as she worked tirelessly, administering treatments while battling her own fears of failure. For 48 grueling hours, she barely slept, her eyes glued to Luna's cage, praying for a miracle. When Luna finally opened her piercing blue eyes and let out a soft growl, Emily collapsed onto the floor in tears of relief. That moment wasn't just a victory, it was a turning point. It solidified her belief that she was born to protect these extraordinary beings. Every challenge, every sleepless night, and every drop of sweat became stepping stones toward her ultimate goal, safeguarding the wild beauty of Earth's most vulnerable creatures. Though Emily had found her place at the San Diego Zoo, a deeper calling began to tug at her heart, a pull she couldn't ignore. The wild was whispering to her, urging her to leave behind the comforts of home and dive headfirst into its untamed embrace. With trembling hands but unwavering resolve, Emily packed her bags and set off for Kenya's Masai Mara Reserve. The moment her boots touched African soil, she felt an electric surge of purpose. Here, under endless skies and surrounded by roaring lions and thundering elephants, Emily knew she'd stepped into a battlefield far greater than anything she'd faced before. This wasn't just about protecting animals, it was about fighting for survival itself. Emily's first days at Masai Mara felt like stepping into another world, one where the sun blazed mercilessly by day and the cold clawed at her bones by night. The savanna was unforgiving, testing her endurance with every breath she took. Yet Emily refused to back down. Each morning, she rose before dawn, her body aching but her spirit unbroken, ready to patrol the vast wilderness. With binoculars slung around her neck and a notebook in hand, she tracked lions, elephants, and rhinos, her heart pounding as she scanned for signs of poachers. Every rustle in the grass could mean danger, every shadow could hide an enemy. But it wasn't just the land that challenged her, it was also the people. At first, Emily feared she wouldn't fit in, but her warm smile and genuine curiosity won over the local rangers. They taught her how to navigate treacherous terrain and shared stories of their ancestors who once roamed these lands. Bonds formed quickly, turning strangers into allies and even friends. Together, they became a united front against those who sought to exploit the wild. Though the nights were long and the days grueling, Emily felt alive in a way she never had before. She knew this was where she belonged. One fateful morning, Emily found herself alone on patrol, a rarity she hadn't anticipated. Her teammate had fallen ill, leaving her to face the vast savanna by herself. The air was thick with tension as she navigated the rugged terrain, her senses on high alert. Then, something caught her eye. A suspicious truck parked near a cluster of bushes, its engine idling ominously. Her heart raced like a drum roll as she approached cautiously, her hand gripping the radio tightly. When she peered into the truck's cargo hold, her blood ran cold. Shackled inside was a terrified rhino, its eyes wide with panic and its breaths shallow. Every instinct screamed at her to act, but the weight of the situation pressed down on her chest. This wasn't just poaching, it was theft of life itself. Emily knew she couldn't let them escape, but confronting them alone was like stepping into a lion's den. She took a deep breath, her mind racing with possibilities. Should she call for backup? Confront them head-on? Each second felt like an eternity. As the poachers noticed her presence, their faces hardened, and Emily realized she was standing on the edge of danger. But even in that moment of fear, her resolve burned brighter than ever. She was ready to fight, for the rhino, for the wild, and for everything she believed in. The poachers moved with ruthless efficiency, their cold eyes locking onto Emily like predators cornering prey. Before she could react, they lunged at her, pinning her arms behind her back. The rope bit into her wrists as they tied her to a tree, its bark rough against her skin. Her voice was drowned out by their harsh laughter as they slammed the truck's doors and sped off with the rhino. Alone under the blazing sun, Emily felt her strength ebb away with each passing minute. Her throat burned like fire, and her head throbbed from dehydration. The savanna, once a place of wonder, now seemed like a prison of heat and despair. Yet even in this darkest moment, Emily's mind refused to surrender. She scanned her surroundings, searching for anything that could save her. A flicker of hope sparked within her as she spotted a sharp rock near her feet. Summoning every ounce of determination, she began to inch toward it, her muscles screaming in protest. Each movement was agony, but giving up wasn't an option. She was the guardian of this land, and she would fight until her last breath. Just as Emily's vision began to blur from exhaustion, a low growl rippled through the air, sending chills down her spine. Through half-closed eyes, she saw a massive male lion emerge from the golden grass, its mane catching the sunlight like a crown of fire. Her heart froze. Was this the end? But then, something miraculous happened. The lion paused, its piercing gaze locking onto hers. In that moment, recognition flickered in its eyes. This was the same lion she had saved from a hyena attack a year ago, nursing it back to health with relentless care. The beast approached cautiously, its powerful frame casting a shadow over her frail form. Emily held her breath, torn between fear and hope. Then, with a gentleness that belied its size, the lion began clawing at the ropes binding her wrists. Its teeth tugged carefully, each movement deliberate and precise. Tears streamed down Emily's face as the ropes finally gave way, freeing her from captivity. For a fleeting moment, their eyes met again, a silent bond forged in trust and gratitude. The lion let out a soft roar before disappearing into the wilderness, leaving Emily shaken but alive. She knew this wasn't just luck. It was destiny rewarding her kindness. With adrenaline coursing through her veins, Emily stumbled back to her ATV, her body aching, but her spirit unyielding. She grabbed the radio with trembling hands, her voice cracking as she reported the poacher's location to headquarters. Every second felt like an eternity, but she knew time was of the essence. Her teammates arrived swiftly, their faces etched with urgency, and together they coordinated with local authorities to track the criminals. The chase was relentless. Dust clouds billowed behind their vehicles as they sped across the rugged terrain, following faint tire tracks left by the poacher's truck. 2 hours later, the tension reached its peak. In the distance, the glint of sunlight on metal revealed the poacher's hiding spot near the edge of the forest. "This is it," Emily whispered, gripping her seat tightly. as police surrounded the vehicle. A tense standoff ensued, but the poachers were outnumbered and outmaneuvered. As the handcuffs clicked shut around their wrists, Emily exhaled a breath she didn't realize she'd been holding. Justice had been served. But this victory wasn't just hers. It belonged to the wild, to every creature that depended on protectors like her. Her heart swelled with pride, knowing she'd made a difference. The moment the rhino was freed from the truck, Emily felt a wave of relief crash over her like a tidal wave. The animal, though shaken, stood tall once more under the open sky, its eyes reflecting both fear and resilience. With careful hands, veterinarians examined the creature, ensuring it would recover fully before releasing it back into the wild. Watching the rhino step cautiously onto the savanna, Emily's heart swelled with gratitude for the team, for the lion who saved her, and for the unyielding spirit of nature itself. Meanwhile, the poacher's fate was sealed. Handcuffed and humiliated, they were dragged into custody, their faces pale with defeat. This isn't just justice, Emily thought, as she watched them being led away. It's a message to anyone who dares harm our wildlife. Her teammates cheered around her, but Emily's joy ran deeper, a quiet, fierce pride that came from knowing she had made a difference. That night, as she sat beneath a canopy of stars, she whispered a silent thank you to the universe. Every scar, every drop of sweat had been worth it. This victory wasn't hers alone. It belonged to the wild, a testament to what could be achieved when courage met compassion. As Emily lay in her modest quarters that night, the day's events replayed in her mind like a vivid dream. She couldn't help but smile at the memory of the lion, the same creature she had once nursed back to health, returning the favor in her darkest hour. It wasn't just luck. It was as if the universe had conspired to remind her why she chose this path. Tears welled up in her eyes as she silently thanked life for giving her the chance to protect and connect with such incredible beings. Each scar on her hands and every bead of sweat shed under the African sun now felt like badges of honor, testaments to her unwavering dedication. But this wasn't the end. It was only the beginning. The day's victory had reignited a fire within her, stronger than ever before. "I won't stop," she whispered to herself, her voice steady despite the exhaustion weighing her down. "Not until every animal is safe, not until the wild is free." Her resolve hardened into steel, forged by gratitude and love. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new dangers, but Emily Carter was ready. She was no longer just a guardian of wildlife. She was its fiercest warrior, bound by purpose and unyielding hope.